Yeah.
Don't spoil it.
That's the end, not the beginning.
This is a really low microphone that I don't really need, but I'm going to use anyway because it makes me feel more.
Yeah, they're both on.
Okay.
It's very quiet.
I just sniffed into it, sorry. So we were on the plane over here yesterday, and because we live in the future, planes have internet on them that you have to pay like $12 for an hour for. So what I did, I got on my tablet, and we bought on airplane internet 30,000 feet in the air, buttmemes.com, and redirected it to our website. That's what we did on a plane yesterday. And we spent $12.
We spent company money.
We spent company money.
That's Kickstarter money. So thanks for all.
One of your Kickstarter amounts went to buying buttmemes.com.
Now, was that the package deal that came with the .org and the .net too?
No. So if
That was still up for grabs.
yeah, if anyone else wants buttmemes.net or anything, or buttmemes.gov, they can you can have it. So
They
now,
get like a phishing website where it looks just like the fact store, except it's got like credit card scamming stuff
yeah,
on it.
like all
Will
of
never be trusted
It'll
again.
be like another Kickstarter. So that's. I'm gonna take this off because it's.
Work the room.
Yeah.
Just get up and work the room.
All 12 of you here. But thanks for coming. That's good.
I hope that's just because it's hard to find.
I hope that's because it's hard to find.
I
Yeah.
almost didn't come. 'cause
And
I
it's
couldn't
also
find
like the first panel on Friday after opening ceremony.
Yeah. There's like 1 million people that cheered for us at opening ceremonies. Where'd they go?
They can't find the room.
Oh yeah. Is it time to go?
It is time to go.
Darn, I drew, but
Label it.
Okay. Whoever has the best question
Chat it up.
gets this drawing that I drew of a butt farming.
Yep.
We make marble
Is it
hornets.
farting or farming?
Butt farming.
Okay.
Yes. We're some idiots that make this show called Marble Hornets that is on the internet, and this is our Q&A panel.
Why don't you tell them how it started so we get that one out?
Get that one out of the way real quick. Okay, yeah. So if you don't know, what are all these for?
Water.
Oh, okay, I see. I didn't see
Just
that.
go.
I didn't
Just
see
go.
that.
You want some?
Keep the.
I would like some, yes.
Keep the train running.
So Marble Hornets started in the summer of 2009 on the Something
I don't
Awful.
make so much longer.
Huh?
Just
It started in the summer of 2009. I was really bored, and I found the idea of the Slender Man, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of. And it was made by this guy named Eric Knudsen, who went by Victor Surge on the Something Awful forums. He made like 2 photoshops and a paragraph text post. What are you doing?
I'm turning you up.
Okay. In case the people 10 feet in front of me can't hear me.
You're getting drowned out by the people next door.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
drown them out.
It's probably
turn this one up. Test.
Turn up for what?
Yeah.
Turn
little
up.
beatbox for you. Beatbox and.
I lost my train of thought.
You found the Slender Man.
Oh yeah, I found the Slender Man, which was made by Eric Knudsen, and we took his initial concept idea, which was like 2 photoshops and a paragraph, and created the operator out of it, which we then made Marble Hornets about. And I called Joseph up because I knew he wasn't doing anything, but I asked him anyway. I said, "Hey, are you doing anything?"
No.
He said, "No." I said, "Hey, you want to help me make a dumb thing, or not a?" I didn't say help me make a dumb thing. A thing that won't be dumb, totally. And
I said okay.
you
I would
said
have said
okay.
okay even if it was dumb. Because we're friends.
Oh, thanks. So 5 years later, exactly 5 years later from that, was it that day?
It was that day.
That was June 20th? Okay. What?
There's dirt in this mic.
Someone's gone off-roading with it.
Yes, we ended Marble Hornets.
We ended Marble Hornets 5 years later after that with Entry 87. It is now finished. We are working on another series now, 2 series. Series. And as soon as we finish putting together all of our DVD stuff, which is for sale on our table if you want to buy that, once we finish putting all that stuff together with the Blu-ray and everything, we will start on our next thing. Probably not until next year though, for me anyway. Yeah, that just answered like 2
Oh, I
questions.
just thought you're bringing another monster into the world.
Hey.
This guy.
That's pretty good.
I'm having a daughter later this year.
Congratulations.
Thanks. You're just like dead quiet, like.
Everyone hates kids.
Everyone here hates children.
So by the very nature of a Q&A session, you can ask us any question. I project.
Okay.
I have a cold, so.
Any questions you've been dying to ask, we will answer most of them. But because of that, this is a pretty spoilery panel, so just keep that in mind if you haven't finished the series.
Yeah, I was gonna say something dumb about that, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh yeah, we'll say earmuffs then.
Yeah, earmuffs.
Earmuffs. Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. And someone just like runs out immediately.
So yeah.
Thanks for coming. Hi. Sit down. I like your shirt.
All right. So anybody that has a question? I saw the hand right here. And
Cosplay repair guy.
Yeah, that's me.
You're doing God's work.
Yeah. God's work. I've always wondered, how on earth did you get the name Marble Hornets?
It was when I was on the way to continuing the story.
Yeah.
I was on the way to meet Joseph somewhere.
That's the kind of seamless interaction you can come
Yeah.
expect from our panel.
Yeah. It's totally seamless. I say as I lose my train of thought again. Oh yeah, I was on the way to meet Joseph somewhere. Good. And I was trying to think of a name for it, and at first it was a really dumb name that I don't even want to repeat right now.
Repeat it.
No, I don't want to.
I'll repeat it if you don't.
It was called the Slender Tapes at first.
Slender.
I'm sorry. But luckily I realized that was a dumb name like 10 minutes later, so I even registered the YouTube account for it. Like it's probably still out there somewhere. Probably at youtube.com/theslendertapes. That's where we're gonna make our new series. Or no, redirect buttmemes.com to that. And then have the website on that profile link to our actual website. Or just link back to buttmemes.com so it links back to itself.
So you're on the road.
So I was on the road and to meet Joseph somewhere, and I realized that was a dumb name, thankfully. And I was like, okay, it has to be some kind of, because it had to be named after, this wasn't when we decided that it was going to be the student film type thing.
Right.
But I had an idea, that we should do that because, right, which I guess. And I thought for some pretentious, horrible student movie would be some kind of name that doesn't really apply to it at all, like adjective noun. And I said, okay, the next two things I'm going to see, because I didn't want it to be a one word name, because those are played out. And so as I was driving, this is totally true, I'm not making this up, a pest control truck drove by me, and it said Hornets on it. Like they killed hornets. And after that, there was like a masonry car that drove by and said, "We deliver marble." And so I turned those around and was like,
So close to Hornets Marble.
Hornets marble.
Just imagine all the other things it could have been. It could have been like pizza crickets or something.
I know. It could have been like just Flowers Walmart.
Yeah.
The rest of the panels us thinking of worse things.
Stakeout roaches.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it came from. There's no big deep meaning. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's where it came from.
There's as much thought put into it as Alex would have put into the film.
Right. Yeah.
He probably worked harder coming up with that name than he did on the actual film.
You just like storm out angry. It's like you had this like manifesto of what it all meant and everything. You brought it for us. I hope you didn't do that. Yes.
Okay, speaking of Alex, I have to ask, what would Alex Curley's favorite romantic comedy be? Been dying to know, man.
The one he made in high school. Nah, that's too mainstream, man. Zach Braff is a sellout. Don't tell me how my character thinks, man. Okay. I'm not some cog in the machine, okay?
But for real, Love Actually.
Yeah.
One of the people that was in that movie is here.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You should go tell him. Our fictional character, who's really bad at making movies, likes your movies.
Was highly inspired by it to make terrible movies. Well, actually, it's a pretty good movie.
It's pretty meta.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
We're asked to leave MetaCon.
Yeah,
We're
it's like
asking other guests.
never come back.
Raise them hands.
Raise them hands,
Or else
dude.
we're just going to stare at
We're
you
just
awkwardly.
gonna leave.
Do you just want to improv in your work?
A fair amount. A lot of the stuff will, what's the word? Retroscripting.
Retroscripting.
Yeah. we'll have bullet points that we want to touch on, and then we'll just kind of get there eventually, for better or for worse. I guess it makes it a little bit easier on someone like me who had literally no experience making videos or acting or anything like that beforehand.
Tim and I have slightly more, but not much.
Although
At the time, it was probably about equal, I would say. With you, you'd been in some classes by that point.
Well, yeah, I met you because of those classes.
Yeah.
it's good for me because even though I'm the harshest critic of anyone about my own acting, in fact, no, I'm not going to self-depreciate that much this early in the panel.
Yeah,
but the first entry that I did, I spoke in entry number 2 where I monologued to the camera. That took us so long to do just because I would mess up words and we had a turnaround point in front of where I worked at the time, which was in one of these little strip mall things. I worked at a used game store, and across from that was a Little Caesars that was still open. And for whatever reason, no matter how slowly I pulled a little U-turn in that parking lot, my tires would squeal. And like after every take, we'd have to do a 3-point turn on this little road, go back, peel out in the Little Caesars parking lot, and like after about 5 times, the employees were actually like standing at the front of the.
I think that guy's gonna rob us.
What is
can't
wrong
get
with
into
this?
it.
So then that added pressure to me. I was like, I can't do this, man.
Yeah.
So
was that the first time you'd ever acted?
Yes, literally the first time I'd ever spoken lines on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they didn't see the outtakes. There were some pretty bad ones.
There's only I don't think it was the thing that we had the most takes of in terms of talking.
That would be entry, well, not in terms of talking.
Yeah.
Most takes would probably be entry 6, which was 34.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, no, a little bit different. I gotta do this exact same thing, the exact same way, but it'll feel different in my head.
So there's this thing we have called Sutton's Limits.
Which I guess predates Tim actually being in the series.
That's what made me think about that, is talking about retro scripting and stuff, which is humor is harder to be, or it's harder to be funny improv, I guess, than practical improv.
At least for us.
For us.
Yeah. So yeah, we improv a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have an end in mind when you started, or if not, can you describe the process of ending the show?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's actually gone through a couple of evolutions throughout the series. When we first started, it made me feel a lot better once I found this out about Lost. They did the same thing where
We're basically
where
Lost, is what we're
they
saying.
had one season that they knew they had. They didn't think they were going to be renewed, or in our case, we didn't think we needed to expand upon what we had at the very beginning. So you just kind of go for broke. And I saw an interview with their producers, and they said it was basically the exact same thing we do. It's like, what would be really cool to do here? So we came up with a cool shot, and we would do that entry, and without any real thought process into what the overall story was. Then we ended the first season, and we're like, we might have dug a little bit of a hole here. But I want to say it was not too far into season 2, we actually knew exactly how we wanted to end the series entirely. We won't earmuffs it yet, but we knew what we wanted the end to be, and then we had to work towards getting there.
Well, I guess we can has anyone here not finished Marble Hornets yet? That's too many people. Okay.
We'll try not to use earmuffs too much during this.
So to everyone else, if you have a question that's like really spoilery, like, hey, why did you kill everyone in the end or something?
Why did they finish it in the church?
Yeah. What was with the aliens at the end? I can't believe it turned out to be Sasquatch the entire time.
He cleans up good.
You forgot to say earmuffs.
Oh,
How did you manage to afford Nicolas Cage for that shot?
We're just making it worse.
The answer to that is Kickstarter.
that's what all of that was. That was how much it cost to get Nick Cage for 2 hours.
So yeah, about midway-ish through season 2, we knew exactly how we wanted to end it, and we wanted to end it during season 2, but we were going so long already that we're like, we knew some more points we wanted to hit, so we're like, okay, let's just make a 3rd season. And then the 3rd season, we're just like, we're going until it's over. That's why it's actually longer than the 26.
Has anyone not made it to season 3? Anyone not made season?
I've never seen it.
Oh,
Just curious
okay.
about the process of
Okay.
Yeah.
ending
Cool. Thanks for coming.
As for the process, we came to it with, we knew our characters pretty well at that point, so to us at least, it felt like it was the only logical outcome. Bad things happen to
Yeah.
try to remain
Unspoilery.
non-spoilery.
Yes.
And the series as a whole has a fair amount of ambiguity to it, so we want that to be reflected in our ending.
But we did want it to be a completely ambiguous
Yeah.
ending. Yeah.
So we wanted to leave some questions unanswered, answer some, I guess. We have to. I don't know. You'd have to ask someone that's more familiar with it to just how good of a job we did.
Oh, I was like, I think we're pretty familiar with it.
I think we did an okay job, but it's hard to
It's hard
say
to judge,
unbiased as us. So the process was a long one.
Yeah, 5 years.
But I don't know. It seemed like it was harder to get to the ending than it was to come up with the ending. Because when we came up with it, it just made sense. It's like okay.
We got like aspects of the ending like at the beginning of season 2. Then we like figured out, hey, we want blah 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 to happen.
It was a nice payoff at the very end because it's 5 years of working towards that one moment and then done. It was a very surreal experience. Like picking up all of our stuff at the end of the shot. And the last shot, and just being like,
I guess we're done. Well,
that very last
the penultimate shot that had a little
Yeah, because the very last entry was shot way in advance, apart from the very, very last shot.
Yeah.
So the second to last one, filming that was what really felt like the end, and then
I think
we just had that one last shot to do, just driving,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, fitting.
We can kind of say this isn't a spoiler; it's just the shot composition. But
Yeah.
we bookend all of our seasons with a driving shot, just like out the dash, and at the very end of the season, the car finally stops, and it's at a crossroads.
Whoa!
And, that was also a happy accident.
A happy coincidence, yeah.
Which is kind of the story of Marble Hornets. And on the production side, happy accident.
Yeah.
And dude,
you're like, bro.
Oh, it's so deep.
Bro. We're so smart.
We would have made Crayley proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're so dumb.
Another
More
question.
hands.
Yes.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to try their hand at writing horror?
Write what scares you.
It's weird because horror is almost like, in a way, it's kind of like comedy, where it's like not everyone finds like funny, whereas some people like the jump scare type thing, some people like the psychological type thing, some people like a mixture of the two. Most people like a mixture of the two. So I don't know. It's like I find really quiet, nightmarish things scary, like things that look like they're from a nightmare, which is why we like David Lynch movies, because they're like that. That's what I find scary.
It was we almost didn't really write it like a horror thing. Like we would write it as with the mystery aspects in mind, and then find good places where we could sort of
input,
amp up the scarier parts.
Yeah. I hear people all the time, they call it a horror series, but I would personally call it a thriller type thing, I guess. But horror is also fun. But I mean, that's what it always felt more like to me, is a thriller mystery type thing.
I don't know how much more advice I can give you personally, because I hate scary stuff. I'm a big baby. So I guess if I were to write something that scared me, it would be literally anything. I don't know.
Mr. Popper's Penguins 2.
I was about to say, it's like, if you don't like the gory stuff, don't write the gory stuff, because you're not gonna know it. But I don't like horror stuff.
Do whatever the hell you like, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think a good starting point, anyway, is always do something that you would like.
Yeah.
That's usually a very good place to start. That is when I watch this.
Also, just having a clear goal setting out, which is kind of hypocritical of us when we started the series, at least.
Yeah.
Well, we knew what we wanted in terms of tone. Just
We had an ending written at the time.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the one we got to.
But having a clear direction to start with, which is kind of catch-all advice too when you're making anything.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you're making, then you can't really expect other people to
know what it is.
To get it either. I wish I could be more helpful, but I don't know.
I hope that helps some.
Have a clear direction, but also don't be afraid to go in a different direction if you're writing it and it
Doesn't work.
and it
Just
just
go with
doesn't
the
work,
story
or you
takes
find
you.
something that you like better.
Probably one of the biggest problems I have is having an idea that I think is good and then having to let it go for some reason. I hate that so much. And it's usually this guy that's like, we can't do that, or that's a dumb
I'm
idea
the
or
negative
something.
Nancy of the group. I
So
poo-poo the ideas.
you poo-poo the ideas.
I poo-poo the ideas.
All right. Yeah, it's not a certain time. Yeah, we can't swear, I guess.
Unless
So-
we're Billy West.
Unless we're Billy West.
Holy moly!
Yeah. Okay. Was anyone at the opening ceremony? Were you at that? Was anyone at that?
Yeah.
You were at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that caught me off guard.
Yeah. It's weird hearing Philip Fry say the F word.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. There's something else I was going to say, but it probably wasn't that good. So just yeah.
Letting go of the good ideas.
Oh yeah, letting go of the good ideas is something you have to that I'm still not good at. But
If you have to let go of it for the overall good
Yeah.
of the story,
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta do it.
yeah, gotta have the guts, I guess.
The guts.
Guts.
One word.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we've guts, I guess. Yes.
Sure.
No, I.
Oh, no, not
No!
You waited.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First spot.
I was excited.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Knife fight.
What was the most interesting part, or scene that you thought was during filming?
Like, let's see, like what we thought had the most potential,
Or just like what we thought
or like
had
when
the
we
coolest.
shot it, we were just like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That one.
For me,
Okay.
that was entry 72, which was the one when they are at Alex's empty house in season 3.
Maybe.
And, huh?
Yeah. Okay, just go on.
Just don't be
spoiler.
Yeah, that was the one where after we finished it, we were in the car driving back. I was like, I've never really said this very often, but I'm pretty sure this one's going to be awesome when it's done.
Yeah.
I think I was right.
That was definitely one of our more ambitious shots because we had a lot of camera trickery in it. We actually had set dressing that we had to do, which is
And by that we mean
we had to black out some windows.
black trash bags over some windows.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, that's about as fancy as we get.
yep.
That was a long shoot too, so
All day.
it was very nice that it turned out as about as good as we could have hoped.
Yeah.
Given how much of a we should tell the story behind shooting that too, because that contributed to the panic of it. Tim, it was your parents' house.
Grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
Well, technically parents' house.
Yeah. So that entry, the house that we shot that in, it was my grandparents' house at one point, and my parents owned it, and they've been trying to sell it for about a year and a half or so. So it was just sitting there, empty, and I asked my mom, just like, "Hey, could we use that as a shooting location?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So we did entry 71 for, I think that was the one. It was 71 or 70, it was right before that, and we wrote it with the intention of us coming back there. And again, remember, this house had been empty forever, and
well over a year.
Yeah, and so we shot 71. We got ready. We were about getting 72 written, and then my mom calls me and says, "Hey, sorry, we finally sold that house. So if you have anything else you want to do with it, you've got like 3 days." So
The intro was not completely written yet.
It was barely written.
Yeah.
So we went there and we shot for, I think,
It's about 16 hours.
yeah,
Well over
something like
12,
that. Yeah, we got there in the morning.
Great, which is rare. It's just like,
I know it's kind of a cop-out, but 86, which was the next to last entry, which big confrontation
Yeah.
and a lot of lot of payoff for a lot of people in that one. That was one of those moments. Like I said, it was surreal finishing that shot on the last shot of that day in general, but once we did it, it was great because it was something we had been building up to for so long, and
it was the last really hard thing we had to shoot.
Yeah.
Because after that, it was fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
With that stuff without being too detailed. You had your hand in for a while.
Yeah. This is kind of a hard question, so if you don't really want to.
We'll probably give you some kind of stupid answer, but go ahead.
Have you been listening to us all?
The question is regarding the two girls who tried to become Slenderman's fantasies.
Yeah.
How did that affect your publicity or future filmmaking?
We didn't want any publicity from it at all, so the day that happened, we pretty much just locked ourselves away, and
we went completely radio silent. We got numerous requests. CNN actually called me on my cell phone. They had called my grandparents because unfortunately I have a very unique last name. There's only like a couple hundred in the world. So it's pretty easy to find the lodges in Alabama. So they called my grandparents. Please don't call my grandparents. And you know,
Marble Hornets, please don't call my
it's
grandparents.
like 81-year-olds. It's like they know what I do, and they're like, "Oh, hey, it's CNN. Oh, yeah, here's his number." So they called me up, and so I told them no, because the way we felt about it was any benefit we got from it, because like view count would spike if we went on one of these national news things. It's like we don't want that. We don't want.
It's like
you may get new fans out of that, but I don't.
Blood fans.
Yeah, they're blood fans.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully, no one died. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to talk about it because we felt a big part of it is we didn't have anything involved with it.
Yeah, it's like what did we do?
They, as far as I know, they weren't Marble Hornets fans. They didn't mention it in any of the stuff. And if someone tied us into it, it was made an error. But yeah, they called. I asked them how they got my phone number. I was like, don't do that.
Stop that, CNN.
Like,
cut it out.
Well, it did affect us a little bit in that we delayed releasing Entry 86 because if you've seen Entry 86 and you remember what happens in it, like the very last scene in it, we had shot the day before that story broke, and we were like, oh no, what are we going to do?
We basically had to delay it by a week.
But luckily that didn't seem to be an issue. I don't think anybody got mad at us once we put that out.
It's weird, of all the people that contacted us, CNN were the ones that pissed me off the most. Not because they called me using my grandparents, but they would not leave us alone. It didn't matter how many times we told them. They must have gotten in contact with us like 4 times. 4 different people just trying.
Was it the same?
No, it was the same person at least one time.
And you like told them to F off pretty much.
It's like Did People Magazine try to contact you through Facebook?
People Magazine contacted me through Facebook. It's like I'm not Angelina Jolie's baby. Leave me alone.
And here's the thing: they would try to be slick about it. They would be like, Rolling Stones. I think Rolling Stone contacted us.
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stone contacted us.
So I hear you cause a show.
And BuzzFeed did this too, saying, "Hey, we'd love to do a story on Slender Man and some of the
just
people
something they're interested in us."
And we're like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we would love to talk. We just have one stipulation: we aren't going to be talking about the Wisconsin stabbing." And
no response.
Either no response or like, well, obviously we would touch on that, and it's like, no, that's what your article is. I'm going to use a swear here. Don't bullshit us, okay? Like, you're treating us like we're stupid, and
just because we're from Alabama doesn't mean you're stupid. We're like kind of stupid.
At least not about that.
Come on, man. Just because we're from the South, don't mean. I don't mean drag.
It was a sad event, but it wasn't one that we felt we had any. We had no desire, and there was no reason for us to comment on it either, because nothing we say would have made them not stab a girl, because that had already happened, and we
can't fix this.
They just wanted to stir up a media frenzy, and we didn't want to be a part of it, basically.
I hope they got on CNN or something, so what they would do this, like they would have like a paranormal investigator come on or something. Like, oh yes, this is a very well-known species of what's it
They
called?
would get cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologists, yeah. It's very well known on the internet.
I want to be a cryptozoologist. That's what I want to be when I grow up.
There's like 3 people in here that are actually like cryptozoologists. They're like, hey man, that's not funny. We don't have any cryptozoologists in here, do we?
Suddenly everyone's hand goes up.
Yeah. I mean, it's
that's
totally
the day we
fine.
found out who our target audience was.
And now they're
They
gone.
all hate us
I
now.
have to like break that camera open. They're like, no, we didn't say that.
Destroy all of that.
Yeah. Kill all of you. But this. Okay.
All right.
Let's see some more hands. Who
None
hasn't asked?
of them have asked yet.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as far as publicity goes, was it hard to go from a couple of friends who made some YouTube videos to being the Marble Hornets guys? Like, how did
We still are.
Yeah.
You know, we have the benefit of being friends for a long time before Marble Hornets. Like Troy and I have known each other since 6th grade.
Wow.
We were in Mrs. Felix biology class. And apparently we made parody songs that I had repressed until he
Parody songs about Krillin from DBZ.
And he liked it.
He's next to us now. Like, that guy is next to us in the dealer room.
This isn't part of your question, but I think it also gives a neat insight to us as people. No, we're sitting there next to Krillin, and he's drawing Ren and Stimpy because he's a published comic book artist as well. And Troy is like, yeah, you made that parody song about like American Pie and Krillin. I'm like, what? And you started singing it.
Yeah.
You started singing it.
You were like, bye, bye, Mr. Krillin guy. Maybe later, much, much later, you will actually survive. That's all he
And
did.
Krillin laughed. He's like, that's pretty good. I'm like, I did that? Like, tell me more.
I did that when I was 11. Wow. And it was all just downhill from
And then I
there.
started remembering some of the other dumb songs I made up, and then I was like, let's just keep it to the Krillin song.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We never really promoted the series, so it's never really felt like it's a profession.
We can technically say we never promoted the series. We did have that ad one time for the DVD.
That's true.
So we can say,
Yeah.
now that everyone knows that we
Felt
have
a
it.
little dirty doing that.
Yeah.
But it was only.
We bought an ad on DeviantArt. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Was that your idea or was it?
I
wasn't our idea.
gave the guy that was interested in doing it like a complete portfolio of like websites that I thought would be good potential ones, and that's what he chose because basically it was the cheapest.
Yeah.
So that's been our one ad for Marble Hornets was on DeviantArt. I think we got.
I think like one person clicked it, didn't they?
I think we had like a 0.7% click rate.
Hey.
So not bad at all.
that's weird. People usually click on ads.
Yeah. But since we never promoted it, it's never been like our job until fairly recently, like in the last 2 years or
Like
so.
2 years ago.
So it's been easy just kind of let it do its own thing, and while we're just being the 3 dumb guys doing some internet stuff.
That answer questions poorly at conventions.
Yeah.
Because we still, like, we have the office, which is the 2nd bedroom in Troy's apartment, but all 3 of us live in the same apartment complex, so we can both be work-related, like, at 2 in the morning, be like, I need you to check something on this DVD because it's broken.
Happened a lot. Recently.
Yeah. Or it could be like, hey, do you want to make chocolate chip pancakes and watch Total Recall? You know.
Tim's really good at chocolate chip pancakes. Really good.
We had a RoboCop night one night. That
Yeah.
was good.
No, they're chocolate chip waffles.
Oh, yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah.
What was your question again?
It was a hard transition from 3 friends to the Marble Hornets.
We have not answered that at all.
Well, no, we have.
We have,
We never
saying there wasn't a
transitioned.
transition.
Oh.
We never transitioned. We're just
Yeah.
those 3 guys.
Okay.
At least in our mind. And
Yeah, we're not
this is
looking-
about how professional we were before this. So, yeah.
We can turn on professional mode, but
mainly
Just
in
usually
emails,
not
though.
here, though.
yeah. But I mean, there's not like paparazzi counting us or anything.
I mean, obviously you guys are popular. I mean, everyone showed up. So.
Yeah.
People always want to buy a drink. That's really cool. Like, oh, you're that guy from the internet. You must be really cool.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever gotten a drink offer.
We've got drink offers. You haven't taken any.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
First time I ever got recognized
Same,
in public
guys.
was outside the tobacco shop with by a big guy in a Charles Manson t-shirt. that was like 2011 or something. So I was just like, so that's who our target audience is.
When I was working at a Longhorn Steakhouse and I had come in for my shift, like I'm putting on my apron and everything, and this little kid, probably like 12, 13, like comes inside and like says something to the host and then like walks all the way through the restaurant up to me and it's like, hey, are you Alex from Marble Hornets? I'm like, yes. He's like, I like your thing. And then they left. Yeah.
Carl from The Walking Dead likes us.
Yeah. Will Wheaton.
Or did like 2 years ago.
Will Wheaton at least knew who we were enough to make a To The Arc reference.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty deep.
That means he at least like looked at a secondary channel. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Still haven't met him.
Someday. Who knows?
That's a nice ringtone you got there, buddy.
No one
Aw.
can.
I don't
Those
think
microphones are weak as heck, dude.
Yeah, there's no transition because we're still just a bunch of idiots. Yeah. Yes, camera.
What do you think of your cosplayers? People who cosplay as your characters.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
super-
amazing.
It's super flattering, and also I hear that if you don't have a whole lot of money, cosplaying as Marble Hornets is great because it's just like regular clothes.
Yeah. We just wore whatever we had. We actually did do some costuming for Alex's stuff later.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we need to make him look kind of homeless.
Yeah.
So
we need to make it look like he doesn't have a place where he lives.
So we went to the thrift
which
store.
is exactly what you just said.
we need to find, I don't know, a homeless look. Yeah, maybe like he doesn't have a home.
Yeah. He's less one home.
Yeah. So we went and bought it's the weirdest, that brown shirt is so weird fitting. It's like a triangle. Like it's a triangle with little sleeves.
What if it was like in the wrong place on her store? It's actually one of those that's